Well, hi there, racing fans, and welcome to another edition of Winning Ways, where we are going to bring you up to date with all the latest news that's going on in South Africa and abroad. There's some fantastic things going on. But more importantly, you know, last week it was quite difficult to do the show because, you know, Karen Ackerman, well, she's like Karen, she's like a model. She's just, you can't concentrate.
You get distracted?
Yeah, very distracted.
Even with your flagging libido?
No, there's no doubt. And you know, the funny thing is that my father sends me a message in '93. He says, not a bad show, but I like the cricketer's wife.
The cricketer's wife, well
but
done.
Nice to have you back. You've been, you know, in Australia. Tell us about Australia.
I went to the Australian, the Patinack Dispersal Farm. John Costa came out there. I saw the Patrick Shaws, the Theo Keeses. I believe David Ferraris was there. I didn't see him. And yeah, it was
not easy to see David Ferraris.
No, I think he gets his work done and leaves his behind to be done.
He must have a lot of things lined up there, that guy.
Yeah, David's doing well. Obviously, Millard's doing well as well, and Patrick Shaw's doing well. Theo's doing very well.
I'm so pleased with Theo.
Yeah, a long chat
with
Theo.
He's just a really nice guy.
Yeah.
Theo's
wife's name's Safin. I asked him if she stole petrol. He said no.
Maybe she's good at siphoning other things.
Yeah. So, siphon.
Okay,
but wonderful to spend some time with him. He's doing well, Theo.
And how was the sale itself? Did they get back? Did Jerry Harvey get back his 40 bar that he lent to?
I think he got about 28 at the end, but there were some beautiful horses. John bought a mare of the highest quality.
Yeah, a Pins mare. We put it on the we had it on the show last week.
So no, very good. Then getting back to Cape Town, outstanding. Good to see Steve Davis at both. You know, international auctioneer. Came out and did his work out here. It was wonderful. I didn't touch him base. Yesterday was good again too. The last couple of days, I say, spending time down at a sale, the Lanzarote Ready to Run sale. It's a good sale. Well,
we'll be chatting about the figures later on in your current affairs, but we're going to go and have a look at 3 to follow. Right, let's go to Turfentine the 4th of October and go and pick up the Australian-bred Sean Terry inmate Tammany. This looked like it will go in and win a good few races. Let's go pick him up at the start. Yeah, this runs in the Khalifa colours, and this is trained by Sean Terry. If I'm correct, this is the first runner that Sean's trained for the Sheikh. Jumps well, James, and slowly loses a bit of position as Kumalo gives it a bit of a chance. It's his debut run. And as you can see it in the yellow with the blue cap, it stops dropping back a bit, and he realized he had only be too far back. From being 4th, he's 4th last now. Yeah, I thought Sean Cormack on the winner rode an absolutely fantastic race, a Rodeo Dream. This is what's called jockeyship pinching a race, because watch him, he's in the green and black, just behind the Pacemaker, which is Spadger, Mary Slack's horse. And he puts it in the race at the right time. Kamala is under pressure in the yellow, just in your screenshot now on the right-hand side. And watch Sean Cormack. He says, okay, I have 400 to run, I'm going for home. And he went for home and ended up pinching the break that won him the race, because Tammany's under big pressure now. Yeah, and changes stick Kamala to get it to run. Sean's timed it beautifully on Walter's horse. But I really kept thinking, well, here, Tamani's going to win it. And it's eating up again. This is a sparkling debut. Sean's got to be very chuffed with this, and a bit disappointed that it was so green to get beat. Well, nice for you know, our team from the Cape. They've got a satellite yard up in Johannesburg now. Walter and his team, they run a good operation. Top operation. They had, I think, about 4 winners over the weekend, if you consider Cape Town. He bounced a few home for Marsh Shirtliff and his partners. He struck twice, I think, in Gauteng, and he ran a great race in the Group 2 with that new horse of his, Midnight Run. So Walter's firing. Good for Walter, but he needs money to come play golf against us. So just keep collecting, young man. We need you to get back in the bloody golf scene, because you are useless at golf, absolutely useless. Let's go and have a look at Durbanville, 4th of October. And here's another guy who's absolutely useless at golf, but he's not a bad trainer. Brett Crawford stepped out a first timer by Ashawis. Let's go and pick up a Star of Pearls at the start. Yeah, I was down at this race meeting. It was a very nice race meeting, and they really sparked up the day. This horse here comes out a little bit slowly, doesn't know much about it.
And the winner was a bit of a surprise winner because Patrick Creer said it's only the one run, it's improved a lot. So Shelter's a good winner, but this horse drops off the speed and James comes with a rattle in the finish.
Yeah, it's owned by the Stonehill stud, the Rixers, and they're passionate about their racing. They've got quite a lot of horses now, these guys.
Yeah.
I see Michelle post quite a lot about the horses, so it's very nice for them. And this looks like she could be quite a good filly, Star of Pearls.
Yeah.
She's in the lime green and black diamond.
Yeah, she's more than halfway back, and I thought Bella Nice would run a big race here. She's in the Mark Rattray colours, sitting about 4th or 5th for Dean Canova, who had won the opener with a very smart horse for Fred Cravier. And this horse doesn't seem to be going anywhere, and I thought, well, what's going to win this race? Shelter's putting in a run. The horse we've picked out, as we said, the lime green, is going nowhere.
It's behind a wall of them. There's absolutely no chance of her. Now she's going to extract herself and really runs on very, very nicely to end up running second. You wouldn't believe that she could run second from there, and only got beaten 3/4 of a length.
Yeah, she eats up the ground. Shelter's grabbing the leader now, but here she comes on the outside. This is a cracking run.
Yeah, this filly will not be long in the maidens, I wouldn't have thought. It was a very, very good run indeed. So that's another one to follow. Then we go to KwaZulu-Natal, and yesterday's meeting, Sunday's meeting, Mike de Kock keeps stepping out these good first-timers, and some of them are not so good, but some of them are good, and this one looks like it might be very good. Esterage. I know it got beaten by a first-timer of Doug Campbell's as well, which could be a nice filly. Yeah. And Doug really done a great job with this filly to win. But I thought Esterage was extremely unlucky. I think that Jockeyship was the winner in this race. Let's go and pick them up at the start.
Yeah, you know, Anthony Delpish is away at the moment, isn't he?
Yeah.
He's on annual leave. He walks out the gate, and that certainly doesn't help its cause. Very green, running away from the pack. And Mersey does his best to get into the race, because I think the stablemate is completely out of the race.
Well, the interesting thing is Donovan Dillon, who was drawn actually on his inside, gets up in front of him on the winner, and the white colours with the green bands is overlaps its name. And Estrage is behind it, and hard spun this.
Very good stallion, very good.
Beautifully bred. And now Dillon holds his place and waits his time. Muzi comes out, and you'll see here, this is where the race is won.
Watching this race, I thought Bernard Cantor's horse in the yellow was travelling a winner. I remember watching this live, and I thought, well, going really well in the yellow is Bernard Cantor's horse. And down the inside is Overlap running a good race. It's still stuck and going nowhere as the runner-up, James.
Well, it's got nowhere to go, really. It's going between two horses that are not in the race. Now it gets a runner split on the outside. And now it gets a bit vigorous on her, and she really runs on extremely well here. Here she absolutely flies, but the other one's gone. This was a very, very unlucky loser, this filly, and she'll win next time. I would have thought, and she might win some races. She looks quite nice. So,
Esterage,
I think Esterage got to go into the notebook, and certainly worth having a close look at her.
Good stallion, James. Hard spun.
Hard spun.
Hard spun. I think it had a place horse in the Prix de l'Abbé yesterday. Very good stallion.
So, you know, he's an international stallion, and this has got an international pedigree. So let's go and have a look at that next time it steps up. But we're going to go and have a close look at Blast from the Past. I wonder if you'll remember the Ovenstones winning the Vodacom Durban July, or the Rothmans as it was then, with our friend Mr. Taylor.
In these insecure and unpredictable times, it's reassuring to remember 3 stable events on which one can rely for their unfailing annual appearance. These are Christmas, taxes, and the Rothmans' July. Here's the optimistic crowd at the 1979 July. The administrator considers it Christmas as he garners in the taxes. Some 40,000 racegoers are in high spirits, backing their fancies, confident that every horse will run as well as it's able, that every jockey will faithfully misinterpret his riding instructions, and that the stripes will give an extra polish to their contact lenses. But above all, the punters are confident that, unlike the late lamented information department, the Durban Turf Club will remain solvent until the final payout. knowing too that their winnings are safe from the depredations of pickpockets, stockbrokers, and similar currency hijackers. This sublime trust rests on the integrity and vigilance of a little publicized department of the Turf Club, the Course Security Bureau. The operations room of the security system is hidden 10 meters below the foundations of the main stand, free from detection by spy satellites. The way to it is disguised as a door to a massage parlor. At his post, skilled and alert, is the chief security officer. Art treasures adorn the walls of this hideaway. Dr. Rudy says fly British Airways. His armory is every known weapon to combat anything from terrorism to sneaking onto the course without paying. He's an undercover man, his code name, Eiderdown. He holds the degree BSc, Very Security Conscious. The CSO's duties are many and varied, some dangerous, like clubbing tardy old ladies in tote queues. Other duties call for the ultimate in subtlety and diplomacy. To illustrate a few, there's the detection and arrest of pickpockets. Then there's the supervision of all the club's printing requirements, and this goes far beyond mere race cards, tote tickets and jackpot forms. Dope testing, where if dope is present, the winner's saliva will effervesce if treated with the rare chemical anthropomorphous oxyacetylene hexachlorophyll. This time, a clean bill, no stimulant present. And with a perfect start, they were racing. First to show were all the aces, Knowsley, Ski Run, and Great Sun. Well placed were Boart with the favorite Bold Tropic about 8th. Coming up to the drill hall. When they'd sorted themselves out and were drill hall bound, Knowsley, Ski Run, all the aces, Great Sun and Pacer led Boart, 40 Winks, Lightning Shot, Deep Magic. Running around 10th was Bold Tropic, and the tail end, Arachnio, the Malster. 13th over the air, 14th Sun Tonic at this stage, and the back markers, So Humble, Bold Monarch, the penultimate pony, the Fancied Welcome Boy, and last was Gigantic. And down the hill they go. Here, Knowsley, Ski Run, all the aces, Great Sun, Pacer, 40 Winks and Boart kept their places at the head of the procession. Deep Magic was well placed. Bold Tropic continued his lackluster gallop halfway back. Over the air was back 12th with Sun Tonic. Welcome Boy had no chance and Gigantic trailed in the rear. Knowsley, Ski Run, all the aces, Great Sun, Pacer, 40 Winks, Boart. Lightning Shot, Deep Magic, Bold Tropic, a fading Arachnio, the Malster, then Over the Air and Sun Tonic. So Humble, Bold Monarch, Welcome Boy and Gigantic. Nearing the 400 marker, Great Sun fell back. Up to 9th, 10th and 11th places moved Bold Tropic, Over the Air and Sun Tonic. Gigantic started to move forward, leaving the tail end to Arachnio, So Humble and Welcome Boy last. Clearing the final bend and pulling out all the stops for the big crunch, Knowsley and Ski Run had had enough. All the aces hit the front with Boart on his tail. Deep Magic going well. Sun Tonic coming fast. But fastest of all and flying Over the Air. And Over the Air lengthened his stride to get on terms with the battling all the aces, Deep Magic and Sun Tonic. And further accelerating, leaving the issue in no doubt at all on the inside there. On the line, all the aces and Sun Tonic left nothing between them, and Deep Magic was checked. Boart was 5th and Pacer 6th. Bold Tropic could do no better than 9th, and the Fancied Welcome Boy 15th. Garth Puller and an extremely calm over the air worked their way through a very enthusiastic welcome, up to the unsaddling enclosure. Trainer Peter Cannemare was already rehearsing his speech for the July dinner. Peter's used to public speaking. He was born on a farm with a party lion. Exercise makes a fellow hungry, and over the air mistook Mrs. Omenstone's hat for a bunch of lucerne. To pacify over the air, Peter Cannemare slipped him a hot dog. A hot dog, that's the only animal that feeds the hand that bites it. So with the 1979 Rothmans July winner sashed and acclaimed, it's all over, bar the dope test. Hello, what's this? What's happening? Aha, here we go. Oh, no, it can't be. Is the test positive? Did the winner receive a stimulant? My goodness. Ah, what a relief. He knows, and everyone knows, our man has blundered. Ah, well, so what? You can't win them all.
What a show.
James, what's that guy's name who does the narrating? Keith somebody.
Keith Taylor.
Keith Taylor. Outstanding.
Keith Taylor, yeah.
They should get someone to do it now, you know, to have a little bit of a preamble around the big race. And,
well, they obviously got a few actors, you know, because there was a security guard that we just saw.
Yeah.
He was a genius. He got handcuffed to the rail when he tried to find a guy having a bet. Anyway, it's such fun, that.
Yeah.
And, really great having these old races, because there's nothing that we need to preview that's coming up. Although we've got charity miles and ready to run cups and all types of things happening in the next couple of weeks. But we're going to go and have a look at the plum of the week.
Viva Lavar's trying to be kept together as they get to the 400-metre marker. Shakespeare, she's on the outside, then Scumov, Sylvan Jet, and then comes Mel Rebellio. And Viva Lavar just quickens away from the opposition though. And Viva Lavar is home and nosed. Viva Lavar by 4 or 5 lengths under the hands, and Viva Lavar will get eased down by 6 lengths. Second will go to Shakespeare, she. Then came Scumov, Sylvan Jet, and Mel Rebellio.
Well, if you had an Interbet account, you could have got 4 to 10 about this horse. This was started 1 to 6, 1 to 7, 1 to 8 with the bookmakers.
It won like a 1 to 8 shot.
Absolutely. There was no doubt. And what a way to start off the meeting. You have your couple of hundred on this. You're going to get back 50% on your money, or 40% on your money.
40% you get to
Interbet, got to be the place to go. Thank you to them for wonderful price and able to get on. Fantastic. Let's move on and go and have a look at the current affairs.
Want to get the best odds on horse racing and sporting events? For every bet requested, we review all the bookmakers and select the one with the best odds. As a result, you always get the best odds. Interbet offers tote betting, fixed odd multiples, and betting with your mobile phone. To get started, all you need to do is register by filling in your personal information. Log into your account and start wagering.
Welcome to another edition of Current Affairs. The group racing, not the grape racing. The group racing is back in South Africa, and we had 2 Group 2s and 2 Group 3s. I'm getting it right. And we're also going to show you the Arc, that wonderful race in France. And James, good to get back into group racing. Cape Town are building up, and of course, so are Gauteng.
Absolutely. You know, this is what the spring season and the summer season is all about. Certainly in Durban, Cape Town. Durban has its season in the winter, but Joburg and Cape Town they have 2 big seasons coming up. And this is a great start to the season. I thought the racing was fantastic.
Very good racing, and we will get to see them. But let's start off up in the Halfveld in Gauteng, where they had the Joburg Spring Fillies Challenge, a Grade 2 race. And all the talk here was the unbeaten horse, Majmu, who was coming out for Michael de Kock. Waited to win, and a very good filly. James, do you agree?
Well, when you watch this race, this has got to be the vagaries of race riding gets this filly beaten, because there's no way this filly could ever lose. All this jockey had to do was put her in the clear. And he never, for one moment, looked like putting her in the clear. I can imagine Mike pulling out the last few strands of hair that he has, because he loves horses to see daylight and he loves them to race a bit handier. But she missed the break slightly. But still, pull it out in the straight. You've got 35 meters of grass at Turfentine to run on. And he wanted to go down the inside 2 meters. That's really, he got beaten on Terry's horse in the second race.
So it wasn't his best day.
Not his best day. Simonga's going through a bit of a dip at the moment. There's a lot of people.
Happens to all guys. He'll bounce back. But let's have a look at the race. We've given you a little bit of a preamble. And this is the Grade 2 race for the fillies in Gauteng.
She's racing about 3 lengths off the leader in the black body and red cap. Touch the Sky, Supreme Sunset. Then comes Majmu towards the inside rail. She's got around 5 or 6 lengths to make up, and she's now asked upon for her effort as they get to the last 400. There are fewer chances here. Mayat, Virgo's Babe, and Pure Power make it a line. Athena's in between horses. Majmu's got no luck. If she gets through, she'll need a lot of luck from there. Supreme Sunset also runs on strong, and Supreme Sunset is quickening best of all. Athena's right there. Then comes Virgo's Babe. Athena and Supreme Sunset, but Supreme Sunset won it from Athena. Then third goes to Virgo's Babe and a luckless Majmu.
Well, we spoke about Walter Bass earlier. Mike Bass has struck again with Sean Cormack. Had to survive an objection against Athena, but came through to win by Western Winter. A very good win.
Yeah, absolutely. Perfectly put in the race. Well done to Luke Bales.
Yeah,
you know, he's been a long-time supporter of racing, and apparently, you know, Walter told me that he got invited to the game farm the other day. He got a freebie, him and Candace, and
well, they can take 2 more members now after that
well,
result.
That you know, it shows you Luke, who gave them a freebie to the game farm, they set another one out for him.
They say if you give something before your horses run, they run better.
There's no doubt. I'm hoping it happens to me one day.
Yeah, well, you drink before your runners, because you celebrate before they win, don't you?
Yeah, but it hasn't helped them help something happen.
It helped you.
For sure. No, nothing happened. Only helped improve the mood. That's all. You know, and smoke as well.
Yeah, well done to Mike Bass and Sean Cormack and Luke Bales, who bred this horse. He owns the horse. And Western Winter, great loss.
Still firing.
All right, now we had a Colts version to the Joburg Spring race, the challenge. And this is the Colts version. Let's go have a look at this race.
Mountain Masters along the fence. Hearts of a Lion, the purple sleeves and cap is just 2 lengths off the leader. Then comes Rake's Chestnut in between horses. He angles out, and Snowden's just outside of that. Mikado's got everything to get past. No worries. Now move forward. Took over the lead into the final 400 meters. Second place is Midnight Run. Then comes Hearts of a Lion. Snowden further back. Rake's Chestnut's 1 pace, but it's No Worries, the horse to overhaul. It's a length in front. Midnight Run is game along the rail in second. Then comes Hearts of a Lion, but No Worries gallops on the lead. Midnight Run with 1 late lunge, but No Worries did it. No Worries beat Midnight Run. Then came Snowden and Hearts of a Lion.
There we go. No Worries, the Cahal and Buffalo Bill from Belito. He's having a good run, isn't he, Brown Bernard?
Fantastic. He put his money down. He's bought some very nice horses. They're getting prepared right, and they're getting put in the right races, and they're winning. And No Worries has been a soldier.
Very good. James, if you have a look at his form, this was Gavin Fidel does an excellent job. He's effective from 1400 to 2-2.
Yeah.
He ran fourth in the Vodacom Durban July, this horse.
I think he's a very good horse.
He's a very good horse. Mickey Goss bred him at Summerhill. Well done to them. He's by Cahal, been a very good stallion. But No Worries, Keegan de Mille, the honours. A very good run by the runner-up, James.
Very good run, Midnight Run. That's a horse that he got from the Cape Town connections to bring up to Joburg. And I think he'd be very pleased with that run. And maybe that's a Summer Cup horse.
Yeah, James, he's never missed the first 4 and 21 starts. So well done. But all credit goes to Brown Bernard and Gavin van Zyl, Keegan de Mille, and No Worries. Well done to them. So those were the 2 features that came out of Gauteng. There we had 2 down in Cape Town at the Durbanville course, because as you know, the season's starting. They'll be changing course for the season. But let's have a look at the first one, James, and an improving horse called Double Whammy.
Very nice filly, homebred, I think. The Cotson team bred it.
Sherlock Stud.
Sherlock Stud, yeah. I'm sure that's their operation.
Yeah.
And really, they bred some nice horses.
Another feather in the cap for Judd Pot.
Yeah.
Very good stallion.
But let's go and watch this one. This looks like a very, very nice filly. Look, the big danger, the grey, was Scratch Grey Light. That looked like that might be the danger.
I agree with you.
And anyway, Lana Falcon has shown that she's up there with the top of them, and she was a one to follow early on. We made a big spiel about her. She's a good filly, Lana Falcon. Let's go and have a look. Diana Stakes.
To go in the Lanzerac Diana Stakes. In front, it's Double Whammy, trying to make each and every caller winning one. In second, along the inside, we've got the black and white colours of Perpetua. Racing up the middle, we got Princess of the Sky. Deeper out, we got Lana Falcon, highly decorated, then Zacharias, as they head towards the 3 red Double Whammy. Now being pressed by Princess of the Sky in the middle. Over the top, we got Lana Falcon, that's also starting to reel them into the closing stages. Double Whammy, Princess of the Sky. Lana Falcon is charging home up the outside. The post is looming. Comes in time for Double Whammy. Double Whammy kept going from Lana Falcon. Princess of the Sky, Zacharias.
Yeah, very good filly this. She's had 4 starts. She's won her last 3. She was runner-up on her debut. And they're going to have a lot of fun with her again. Judd Pot coming to forward, James. Very nice filly.
Yeah, and a long-time client, the Laird and Julie Wintle, his mother-in-law.
That's right.
So it's fantastic for them. I think Big City Life might have been bred by them as well.
It might have,
Might easily have been. Anyway, we'd probably be wrong, but Walter will be sending us SMSs saying that this and that and the other, and you don't know what we're talking about. We are dumb and dumber. But we understand that. We're going to go on and have a look at the Matcham Stakes Grade 3. Now, Ready to Run Cup is sales are coming up, and Bloodstock South Africa had this horse on the Ready to Run sale, this horse Reem. He has been a revelation, this horse, since they put a pair of blinkers on him.
Yeah, unbeaten with the cups, and well done to the pullers. You know, a very good horse. You know, I wanted to go have a look at Africa Burn. I was down there. He looked very well, Africa Burn. He's not the greatest of movers, James, and he seemed to warm to his task in the stretch.
I think that he's always shown, even when he was in Durban, that he doesn't have that type of elastic action.
Yeah.
But he certainly knows how to use his action, and he's always looked like more ground will be better for him. He looks like the Derby will be absolutely up his alley, this horse, because he just gets going late always.
Correct, he gets going late. Watching him up the stretch, I thought he wasn't going to place, but he's a very good horse. But the winner, Reem, don't take anything away from this horse. This is, as James said, 3 runs in the cups and 3 wins. Let's go and have a look at the race.
Followed by Africa Burn. Next comes Ferdinand the Bull. It is written, and Dynastic Power whipped them in as they settle for the run to the line. Kuda Matcham Stakes head towards the 400. Reem in front. That's the one they got to get to. Chestnut's Rocket is in the center. Door of Deception racing next. Down the inside we got Top Jet. Africa Burn is under the stick. 3 lengths off the leader. Into the final 300. Reem is continuing to go in front. He's showing absolutely no sign of stopping. Down the inside of that one we find Chestnut's Rocket up the outside. Africa Burn comes late, but Reem, start to finish, will win it. Africa Burn second, Top Jet in third, and behind that we had Chestnut's Rocket.
Well, another tick for Rashawi's here, and the Armitage bred this horse, and the pullers, Glenn and Chris, have got to be so chuffed with this.
Well, it's amazing. If you look at this horse's form before, he had the blinkers on here. He was at 12 starts. He didn't look anywhere close to this good. Now he's become a front runner, and a tough front runner, and he beat you know, the champion 2-year-old in South Africa last year, Africa Burn. He's the best horse around. I don't think Africa Burn was properly tuned up, as the betting probably showed. But you know, they go to the Ready to Run sale on the 1st of October at Bloodstock South Africa's sales ground, and this is the type of horse you can buy. 140,000 he was sold for. Obviously a very nice looking horse, but he's out of a Chilean bred mare. Got a lot to like about it.
A lot to like. One of his family got sold this week as well. Yeah, a lot to like. As you say, 1st of November, James.
1st of November, yeah.
Bloodstock
1st of November, Bloodstock South Africa. I must have one because that's the type of horse you can buy. Right, we got all types of excitement. Wise Dan.
Let's have a look at the Arc first, James.
Shall we go to the Arc first and get through the Arc?
Get through the Arc. Qatar Prix de l'Arc to Triomphe. Qatar involved there. And let's just talk about the race for a moment before we show it. it's obviously a great race. It's one of the massive races on the calendar, and full house, as you can see. James says, I think 5 Group 1s on the day. It's really good racing. And I was speaking to Neil Andrews down there, and Neil said, what are you going to back in the Arc? I said, I don't know. He said, yeah, we thought Treve might not be the same horse. We thought, what was his name? We'd end up going for the third horse, God's Tugruda. You know?
Tugruda, yeah.
Yeah, and it ran a good race, but Treve is a superb horse.
This filly has got to be one of the best fillies that has ever lived.
Yeah. Over this trip, she's brilliant, eh?
Well, she just absolutely murders them. And when you watch how easily she wins, she won exactly the same last year.
Yeah.
But she was drawn 17 last year. She was drawn 3 this year. So Jeanne got a perfect ride on her. It was just an incredible, incredible win. And actually, when you think of it afterwards, we're all bloody stupid. I think we mentioned it 2 weeks ago. I said Treve, but there was a lot of talk about her not being right and this and then the other, but she was the best horse in the race and should have been backed. 16 to 1.
James, interesting to see. Couldn't we have got a phone call through the vet?
Well, the vet is an amazing man. Our man Duncan, you know, Duncan Moyer, who worked here for Baker McVeigh. He was credited in the Thoroughbred Daily News by Cricket Head as having fixed this filly's back. Now, Duncan still works for Baker McVeigh in England, and he obviously does the work for, I was telling Johnny Cave, you know, he's a font of information. It was telling me that Duncan is their man there. So,
gee, well done to him.
South African educated Duncan Moyer,
yeah.
gives them, helps the filly to win the
I hope he gets a bit of the winning prize money. 3.150 million, James.
I'm
Euros.
sure McVeigh's practice will put in their
claim.
Put in their claim. That's, you know,
amazing stake, James.
But John McVeigh never left a stone unturned where there might be even a couple of rand underneath it.
All right, let's go and have a look at the Arc. We've got the race in its entirety. It's a cracking race.
To the start, but he's in now. So 2,400 metres, this fascinating race. Away they go for the Arc de Triomphe. A huge roar from the crowd as Goldchip is the final one to leave the starting gates. Ruler of the World is the leader early on. Not a strong pace either. Montveron, Al-Kazim, Avenir Sertan. She's taken quite a strong hold. Ivanhoe and Kingston Hill from high draws have got into prominent places. They've got into 3rd or 4th places. Goldchip's the back marker. Harpstar is 1 length ahead of him. Freeport Lux just away towards the back of the main group as well. Now they settle and the pacemaker goes on. Montveron leading, Kingston Hill right behind him. Tugruda up there into 4th place. Blue colours travel strongly. Rule of the World, Avenir Sertan the next 2. Flincher, Ivanhoe, Al-Kazim behind those. And then we have Dolnir and Spirit Jim. Tapestry in the dark blue colours. Chiquita is next. Ecto is next to her. And then Siljan Saga, Prince Gibraltar just away. Couple of lengths away to Freeport Lux, a gap then to the red cap of Harpstar, and the grey Goldchip is right at the rear of the field. Now they're at the top of the hill, swinging right-handed. There'll be a good 20 lengths first to last, and then it's Montveron leading. And Zen has got Kingston Hill right behind him in 2nd place. On the rails, Avenir Sertan, the light blue jacket. Then Ruler of the World travels strongly as they go across the sprint course for Frankie Dettori in 4th. Tugruda, Flinchard, the next 2. Trev travels strongly right against the rails. Jane 5th to 6th position. Ivanhoe is next to Al-Kazim. And then comes Tapestry. They're into the false straight. Already they're heading towards home in the Arc de Triomphe. Montveron leading about 2 lengths ahead to Kingston Hill in 2nd. Avenir Sertan is in 3rd. Ruler of the World and Trev the next 2. Tugruda, Flincher, Ivanhoe behind those. Goldchip, the grey, has launched from the back of the field. Harpstar still last. This is the home straight in the Arc de Triomphe. And it's still Montveron, the pacemaker, in front. Trev, look to the left. Avenir Sertan is coming there. Ruler of the World behind those. Tugruda down the centre, but Trev, look at her. She's stormed through to the lead now with 200 metres to go. Avenir Sertan into 2nd. Tugruda down the centre in 3rd place. Trevor's in front by 2 lengths. Is she going to win a second Arc? Flincher's after in 2nd. Tugruda behind those. She's done it. Trev back to her best, has won the Arc again. Flincher was 2nd. Tugruda in 3rd. Dolnir and against Gibraltar, and just away behind those, then Upstar, Al-Kazim, Rule of the World, further back to Montveron and Freeport Lux were the last couple home. She has done it. Back to her best. Thierry Janet on number 8, Trev, is the winner of the Arc de Triomphe for the 2nd year in a row, the first horse to do it in 36 years. There's the winning owner connections. Flintshire was home in 2nd place, the best run of his career. Togruta, a very honourable 3rd for her, and Kingston Hill from a really difficult draw has run a great race in 4th position. But Mike, fantastic, she's done it again.
There we go, Thierry Janet notching up. I think he's 4th. I think you were saying earlier, James, the winning rider.
4th Arc de Triomphe.
Yeah.
There's only 4 other riders that have won 4 Arc de Triomphe, so he's ended up with an illustrious bunch. They were Saint-Martin, Yves Saint-Martin, Freddie Head, okay, who trained a winner on the day. That's Cricket's brother.
There's another Frenchman.
Yeah, Plessier.
Plessier, that's
and
right.
Pat Edry, the only Englishman.
Irishman.
Yeah, well, is he English or Irish?
Irishman, Edry.
Oh,
Jesus, get it right, James.
Oh, sorry, sorry, Paul.
Just to talk about the pedigree here, this is by Motivator. Trev's by Motivator, out of an Anabar mare, and the Monjeu horse Motivator, a Derby winner in the day. So well done to them. And what's her name? The trainer's a great trainer.
Cricket.
Yeah, Cricket Head Morocco.
Yeah, she married someone called Marwak. And she's Cricket Head. Freddie, her brother, had a winner on the day as well. He won one of the pre-opera, I think he won. And it's very interesting that he won that with this filly who was disqualified in April for a high testosterone level. And they found that she had a cyst on the ovary which they operated on. And she ended up coming out and winning the pre-opera for Freddie. So the Heads had a very good day. Cricket won another race on the day anyway. But the English weren't far behind. They did pretty well.
Moving Time won the Prix de l'Abbé. Yeah. And James said that's again David O'Meara and Danny Tudhope. Yeah. They won the, what was the race? They won the Sprint Cup.
Yeah. So with this horse. And since it's moved to him, it's done extremely well. Well done to David O'Meara. Do you know David O'Meara?
No. I don't know.
He's a guy I'd like to. I think he's quite an interesting man. I'd like to talk to him. But then there was a little Richard Hannon Jr. won the Prix de Flore with Olympic Glory. Now that's a Choisier, and Frankie rode that.
I see that stable have just retired Sky Lantern as well.
Yeah, she's gone to stud. To her owners are going to breed with her, the grey. So
she's been very good. What about Across the Waters, James?
Well, James Fanshawe won another big race on the day, which is the staying race, the Prix du Cardin.
That's right.
So that one, and then the interesting thing was that O'Brien won the two-year-old races. He won with Found, and the other one he won was with Glen Eagles, who was eventually disqualified and placed 3rd. And I watched the race. He actually cruised past them.
Yes.
Won easily, half a length, 3/4 of a length. And the French rules say if you come off a straight course and you interfere with the horse, you will get disqualified and placed behind it. Well, what he did was he interfered with the 2nd horse, which interfered with the 3rd horse, which might have run 2nd, but it didn't look like it. 3rd.
Who rode it?
Group 1, O'Brien.
Young O'Brien.
Yeah, I think he rode it. But they won the 2 races and ended up getting demoted in this race, and it was won by Full Mast, I think it is, or Half Mast was the horse that won it.
Okay, so a lot of Group 1 racing there, a lot of good racing on off day.
What a
I know Phil Georgia took a crew to go there.
Yeah.
Let's Go Travel had a team at the Arc. So
we'll find out next week what it's all about, but it just to watch the Arc and watch that filly win, just getting back to her, amazing. And it just shows you that vets do have a part to play, because this filly, you could see she wasn't right. She'd been badly beaten by horses that she was actually beating. But horses it's very interesting to watch this type of thing unfold, because last year it won the Arc in a canter. They decided to keep it in training. It starts off so badly, and Cricket Head keeps saying to the owner, Shok Jain, and the racing manager, what's his name, Harry Herbert, saying, listen, I'm getting this filly right. We're getting there, we're getting there, we're getting there. And she phoned him on the Tuesday, And he must have, you know, she's run second, third, fourth, and gotten worse and worse and worse. But that's what trainers are there for. They're there to work with your horses and get them right. How often do you see owners making decisions instead of leaving it to the trainer and letting them do the job? She ended up, she phoned him on the Tuesday and said, this was the best bit of work I've seen from this filly this year. She's on her way back, and she'll be competitive. I don't think she could be confident cricket, but there she was.
Fantastic.
Came out and walked it.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
James, Wise Dan.
Oh, well, here's another champion. This horse is just absolutely fantastic. He's had two runs from his colic surgery, and his second, he's just won the Shadwell Mile, which is the big mile race on turf in Keeneland. Yeah, it's
he's 11th Group 1, James.
11th Group 1. He is fantastic.
And he's got Wolf Power mare?
He's out of a Wolf Power mare, but he's got Hawaii on the top line as well. I picked that up on ABC. There was one of the guys was saying that he's got Hawaii on the top line. So he's got South Africa top and bottom in his pedigree, which is fantastic. And he's a machine, this horse.
Yeah, absolutely.
Missed the break. Johnny Velasquez, under a bit of pressure, got him out in the straight, asked him to go, and he got up to win. You know?
Great twist.
Yeah,
great twist,
James.
You got anything else?
The ready-to-run sales are now on, and we had one on the weekend, and I see that they did 32 million, average of 195,000.
Very good, James. You could buy horses there. The minimum bid, as I say, was 20. I spent a bit of time with the humble hero, Joe Soma, looking at some horses. Yeah. And Linton Ryan showed me a car. I ended up buying one. I bought a Captain Nell filly, which I'm
good
pleased
for you.
with.
They're very good, the Captain Nell.
Yeah, very good. And what I liked at the big horses, there was a warm white knight horse that I was mad about. And so would most people. Anyone with good vision would like this horse. And it went for, I think, 1.1 million. Vaughan Marshall bought it.
Well, the interesting thing is that Balmoral were the top sellers. They sold 30 for 7.75 million. And well done to Nicola and Mark and the team, because you know, they've set the standard. They want to go out there and be a ready-to-run producing farm, and they go to all the sales. They're big on Bloodstock South Africa.
And they had international pedigrees there. I think an Archie Penco, Domesday. They both sold well.
Sold well. And then Mayfair Speculators were the biggest buyers. Marcus Huster and his team, they bought 9 for 2.88 million. So they support the sale very well, and it would be nice to see them supporting all sales. That's
absolutely. Well,
right.
Major players.
Now, while you were in Cape Town, you ended up doing an interview with Simon Burgess. Tell us a bit about Simon Burgess.
Very interesting man, a man who came out here. I don't want to say too much about him because it comes out in the interview, but a man who's, funnily enough, involved in the winner of we had the Gold Cup winner. Got involved, came out here 3 or 4 years ago and loves the place, promotes it, and he wrote an open letter.
Is he Australian?
Yes, he's Australian. He went to university, worked at News Corp.
He must be a real fluke. There are very few of those Australians that you could find with.
Well, he's the fluke who's come out here, James. He educated in Melbourne, went to university, got his degree, worked for News Corp, and then got into his passion racing, which I think. But I think he came to people came to notice him when he wrote an open letter to the racing world saying, you got to do something about sending horses all over the world. South Africa is a gem.
I think he's a very big fan of our racing, and let's go and have a look at the interview what Paul did with him down in Cape Town at the sale that they've just had, the Cape Thoroughbred sale. So enjoy it, and from Paul and me, have a great week's racing, and we'll be back next week.
Right, it gives me great pleasure to introduce Simon Burgess, a mate of mine who's come over to this country and very passionate about his racing. Grew up in Melbourne, went to university there, got his own company called Thorough Media, and in 2012 he came out here. I think I met Simon, I think I met you in 2011 at Royal Ascot.
That's it, Paul, 2011 back at Royal Ascot. Can't remember back that far who won the races this year, but we certainly had a lot of fun. You were working for Teletrack at the time.
That's right.
Races.
It was, and I was very impressed with how efficient he was. And I remember coming back and saying there was a man over there who was very, very efficient. You ran everybody's comms that day.
Yeah, look, Thorough Media started with the idea that there was a lack of content in the industry, so we started providing a service and sort of got quite a bit of traction fairly quickly, working for the likes of Hong Kong Jockey Club and doing all the major carnivals, and that sort of led to working for different people, and even done some work from Teletrack from time to time at some of the major carnivals as well.
I had been at Royal Ascot with you. I found that you went from producing and overseeing everything to presenting yourself. Where is your passion?
Look, I'm not a presenter. I think I've probably got a good head for radio, to be honest, Paul. But look, I love the game, and it's great to be able to get up and you don't have any trouble getting out of bed when you love what you're doing and you're getting paid to do what you love. It's almost like having a hobby for a job.
That's right, and it was a great time out there because myself and Bonsky were out there. And we met some great characters, but that's one of the perks of this job: getting to see the Frankels, the black caviars, what was it? So you think, or
yeah? Well, I think you've got to pinch yourself a bit, don't you? Because you sort of you take it a little bit for granted, and sometimes you walk away from those big carnivals like this year, seeing you know, Trev and Kingman and these sort of horses there, and you think, you've just seen something great, or Black Caviar winning there, and you just sort of think, and you tell people and they say, oh, you're so lucky, and I think probably you're the same. We don't realise sometimes how lucky we are to get to see what we see and go to all these places and see these great carnivals, and I say to a lot of people, put this one on your bucket list. You know, if you like your racing, go and do it.
Yeah, there's got to be, which to you, and it's a tough question to throw you, is if someone put on their bucket list is the race to go and watch?
I get asked this question a lot, and look, if I had to pick one carnival, I'm probably going to say the Hong Kong International Week.
Is that special?
Yeah, it's a great week. They seem to be able to attract the best horses. But having said that, you know, Ascot's got a special place in my heart too, because it's there's so much tradition and all that.
Yeah.
You know, you've got the Queen come up in the carriage every day, and not that I'm a royalist by any means, but they certainly attract some horses. But Hong Kong is the big show. But you can make a case for all of them. Dubai. Even Singapore, you know.
Australia.
I'll tell you one thing I do love. I love coming here and coming to the Met and the Durban July and meetings like that, the Queen's Plate.
Yeah, I think the major meetings worldwide are special occasions. But let's get back onto your business now. And you came out here 2012. I think the Cape guy said, come out and have a look, see what you think.
Yeah.
What was your initial impression?
Well, look, how it all came about was I actually met Adrian Todd and Grant Knowles at Hong Kong. They were over there, and they sort of took an interest in what I was doing over there, and they approached me about coming out and doing some media coverage. It was the first year of the CTS sale at the convention centre, and I said, yeah, sure, I'd love to. And look, I was blown away. I couldn't believe it. It was the first time I'd been to South Africa. I came straight to Cape Town, which is obviously a gorgeous city. I've fallen in love with it. And one thing that really took me back, Paul, was one, the quality of the horses, world class. And secondly, the value for money. And it made me think, how long's this been going on?
Yeah.
Missing out on something. And I've sort of become, I guess, a promoter, if you like, of I'm always happy to tell people anywhere in the world how good South Africans are. And if you look at the results over the last couple of years on the world stage, you know, pioneered by a guy like Mike de Kock predominantly, it's the proof's in the pudding.
Absolutely. A lot of trainers, even in small ways, have sent horses out. The Alec Lairds, the Herman Browns, the Lucky Udalakis, and a good few others have gone out there and proved the value of our horses.
Yeah. Well, that's the big point, you know, when people see how well they go and you explain to them, well, you know, there's 100 horses like Vercingetorix, there's 100 horses like Jojo, they just don't get the opportunity that they've had. And then when you tell them that, you know, they could have bought a horse like Jojo, the jet plane, for $7,000 US, and he's won $2 million. All the penny drops with a lot of these people.
There should be a lot more marketing. I know that's one of your strengths too. Marketing's always been yours. Your idea of how racing should be propelled forward. And I remember speaking to you about your ideas, and I was very taken by your ideas. And always, it's very good having ideas, but putting them into action is always difficult, isn't it?
Well, my background's predominantly in marketing. I worked for News Corp for a long time in sports marketing. And I think it's about identifying the opportunities and then, your target market, and then tailor-making something to suit them. And when you see something like what happened with Variety Club this year, I saw that as a perfect opportunity. I mean, you're never going to, I call it riding a wave. You're on top of that wave there with Variety Club. He's just beaten the best milers in the world. Not just beaten them, smashed them.
Yeah.
I mean, we all saw it. It was breathtaking. And all of a sudden, you've got all this Asian market captivated by South African bloodstock. Yeah. So there's never a better time to strike.
Yeah, they've seen our jockeys. We've had great. They've seen our jockeys from Felix up there. Great.
Well, you
riders.
look at it. I mean, you've got guys like Dougie White, who's the top of the tree there.
Basil
Tony
Marcus.
Millard going well. Basil was Felix Coetzee.
Yeah,
they've all been legends. And then you go across the ocean a bit to Singapore, and you've got Patrick Shaw and people like that.
Yeah, that's
doing extremely well.
They did very, very
well.
South
African horsemen, I think, around the world are very well respected and highly regarded.
When you'd seen the situation in this country, and as you say, you've got a marketing background, you wrote a letter, an open letter, which has been around many publications and well received, appealing to the world to get involved and help racing. What was that letter all about?
I think it was probably born out of frustration. I'd just come from Dubai, and I'd seen what Mike was doing, and I know, as you know, I've known very well about the protocols and how long it takes to get the horses and move them around, and I thought, this just doesn't make sense. I thought, I don't think enough people understand what South Africans are going through and what it takes to get a horse here. And I've just seen Dubai, who market themselves as the greatest show on turf. And I thought, it's not really true.
Yeah.
Because we're not really seeing the best of the best getting a level playing field. And it just compelled me to...
We've tried to go in through the Dubai door, using with a bit of political will, if you like, and we still seem to be stumbling. And that's a tragedy, as you highlighted.
It is. And look, I just thought, look, we have to be given a level, at least an equal opportunity here to try and make something happen. And I guess it was born out of a bit of frustration. And I love how passionate Mike de Kock is. Like, he's such a proud South African. Yeah. And, he's a great brand and promotion.
He's an ambassador of note, isn't he?
Yeah. So that sort of compelled me to write this, and I did cop a bit of flack.
Oh, you have to.
And
international flack. International flack.
I probably upset quite a few of my compatriots because they've had a pretty good shake of the sauce bottle for a long time as far as South Africans coming and buying yearlings.
Yes.
And they're quite protective about it. But look, I just wanted to see this opportunity for South Africans to get these good horses out and showcase them to the world, because like me, the first time I came here and saw them, I know when I show people abroad horses now, they can't believe. They are just gobsmacked, firstly, at the quality of the horse and how good they are, and secondly, how good the value for money is.
That's the big plus. That has to be the carrot.
Well, they're the two great selling points for me, and like marketing's about making selling easier.
Yeah.
And there's two things to make it easier. Then on top of that, you've got a beautiful lifestyle and a beautiful country. There's so many reasons. Yeah. And it's like one of the old basics of marketing is give people a reason to want to do something. Yeah. You have to give them a reason. Yeah. And I think you can apply that to racing. Yeah. You've got to give them a reason to come to the races. It's not just about running some horses around and having a bet. There has to be more to it. And that's been a very good philosophy in a lot of different sports that they've applied around the world successfully. Because we're competing we're competing against other codes, football, other sorts of entertainment for a piece of the pie. We have to give a compelling reason to come along.
Yeah, and now after that initial letter, as you say, you copped a bit of flack, you got a lot of support. Sporting Post have had more of your articles. You carried on in the vein of a very interesting marketing vein. Is that still going on strong?
Yeah, look, I'm not a journalist. I mean, I'm just voicing a few opinions. Yeah. I like to throw a few ideas out there, and I think there's a lot of things out there at our disposal now. We're not maximising our opportunities. Yeah. Like I said before, getting on the back of the wave, like when Variety Club won, it was a great opportunity to be maximised. And without being critical or disrespectful to anyone, I just don't know whether we've maximised all the opportunities that we have.
It would be good, while you're here, to speak to certain powers that be to try and aid them, wouldn't it be?
Well, look, I've been very open that I'm an advocate for South African racing, and I'm more than happy to assist in any capacity in that regard. I'm not, don't expect anything for it. I've come over here and spent my own money as far as racing horses and breeding horses and things, and so I'm quite passionate, very passionate about it.
You've done a lot of work with Hong Kong, and they are not connected to the EU. Could you see them possibly opening the batting with regard to protocols, getting us out there?
You know, we've been hearing a lot for a long time, and I don't think it's anyone's fault why we haven't been able to progress things. I do, though, really believe there's a big light at the end of the tunnel in Hong Kong for one major reason, and that's...
What about this Winfred guy?
Yeah, well, the chief executive of the Hong Kong Jockey Club, and I do a lot of work for the Jockey Club. I basically cover all their international meetings for them. There's a guy called Winfred Bresters, who sits on basically every racing board in the world in different capacities. And he's very taken with, one, the quality and value, and two, the value of South African bloodstock. And I know that there's a lot of talk happening behind the scenes as to brokering some sort of channel for a protocol, a private treaty or private protocol between South Africa and Hong Kong, which would be enormous.
That would open the doors.
It would open the doors.
Because they've got no breeding setup.
And they've done it before, Paul. They've got a history, because if you think back to when the Olympics were in China, because of quarantine, they couldn't have the equestrian events in China. They had them in Hong Kong. Now, Winifred also sits on the Olympic Committee, and I know that South Africa are proactively lobbying for the 2020 Olympics. Yeah. So something has to be in place before then to be able to have equestrian.
That's a long time off.
It is a long time off, but I think there's
movement.
There's light at the end of the tunnel. It's not an oncoming train.
Yeah, and Hong Kong would be the right place with having no breeding setup.
Well, that's right. They're totally reliant on importing horses. The way they work at the moment, they have people who travel to all the sales and they buy yearlings, they resell them, or they bring in tried horses. There's no breeding industry, so you would think that it would be the perfect market. I don't think South African horses are probably the exact right type of horse for Hong Kong.
You know, with China slowly getting, I think they've signed up a deal with Britain now to get in horses. And that's a massive deal. It's an annual deal. And imagine what it would do to the South African breeders if we had an outlet.
I actually wrote a piece about this a while ago, because the British Breeders Association signed a £10 million trade deal to import horses. Yeah. And just lately, they've also employed Prince Andrew's son as a consultant to set up racing in China. So that's another positive as far as the China. And if you add to that the fact that the Hong Kong Jockey Club now are building a pre-training facility in mainland China, it looks to me like the ducks are starting to fall into place there as far as getting something up and running. So, look, I still think there's a fair way to go down the road there. It's a betting and integrity issue as to how they solve the China problem. Hong Kong,
no gambling?
Well, that's the issue, how they control the gambling. You can imagine the economic impact for the country. Yeah. It'd be massive. And imagine us having pari-mutuel pools being able to bet, and China being able to bet into ours, what it would do for us.
Every aspect will benefit.
It'd be huge. But I think that the prospect of horses being imported into Hong Kong is closer than racing in China. And if you think back, London News.
Yeah.
You know, they are prepared to work and make exemptions to make things happen.
David Raphael's great words, the pride of South Africa.
It's a great story, and you know, it's another great example of quality bloodstock that South Africa can produce.
Absolutely. Now let's talking about bloodstock. You've got yourself involved here with your mates down here in Cape Town, and your colours won the Gold Cup. The Eland Gold Cup went to you. Now that must be a dream come true.
It's very surreal. I've got to say that they're not my colours. I raced the horse in partnership with I think five people. But look, it was an enormous thrill. I mean, any time you win a Group 1 is an absolute enormous thrill. I was one of the few times I've been home in the last 12 months, and I was sitting up in bed watching it. And
you weren't on the course?
I wasn't on course. I was going to be there, but there's some complications why I couldn't be there. So I'd watched him run and get beaten short half head by Hot Ticket, his nemesis in the Group 2 a few weeks before in the Gold Vase. And I was laying up in bed there watching him, and I've never had such a thrill, Paul. It was amazing.
Best fun you've had in bed?
Absolutely.
But Simon,
but then
some people are saying you were a little unfortunate not to get the Equestrian of the Year because Hot Ticket won the Group 2, you won the Group 1. Know what feelings are?
I'd rather have the Group 1 win, to be honest. But hey, look, we've still got a chance to do that. I'm not sure how that all works, but look, Hot Ticket's a great horse, and another Silvano, another great advert for Silvano. You know, he keeps producing great 2-milers. I would like to think one day we'll see a Silvano bred horse in the Melbourne Cup.
Be fantastic. Sylvana's thrown, I think, a Group 1 winner of 6 furlong and the 2-year-old. So a great stallion. But just before we end this, a little bird told me about a horse called, is it Alexis?
Alexis, yes.
Tell us about this horse. Now, there were word on the ground here at the Sailors, this is useful.
She is. She's actually a horse that I bought here last year. Last year's ready to run. It's a funny story, actually, because I was standing with my partner in the horse, who's Lance Sherrill,
yes.
Captain America fame.
Yeah.
And this filly, Dynasty filly, walked into the pre-parade and said, "It's a nice horse, that Lance." I said, "We'll buy it." So we bought it. And,
was she expensive?
No, she wasn't really. She was 200,000 rand.
Yeah.
Look, first time out, we thought she was a chance. It was very heavy going. Carice Teeton rode us for us. She was back from Hong Kong.
Yeah.
And I wasn't here, but I spoke to Carice because I see him a lot in Hong Kong.
Yeah.
And he said, "Oh, she's a very nice filly." And he didn't knock her around.
Yeah.
It's just too heavy.
Where did she finish?
I think she finished 5th.
Yeah.
She's beaten probably 8, 9 lengths, but look, he didn't knock her around at all. Then she came to Durbanville, which is, you know, can always be a bit tricky.
Yeah.
And look, we thought she'd go well, but she came out and won by 5 1/4, untouched, and just sailed past them like there was, you know, she wasn't moving.
Another beach beauty in the making?
Someone said that to me, and I said, look, if she's 1/10 as good as Beach Beauty, would be excited. But good form line there, because the horse that came out and won one of the races yesterday, I think she beat it by 15 lengths.
So it's looking good.
Look, she's in the race and ready to run. So look, we dreamed, don't we?
Absolutely.
If you've got a runner, you've got a chance.
Simon, wonderful talking to you, and we'll definitely get to speak to you again.
Thanks, Paul.
Thank you very much. There we go, Simon Burgess.